The topic today we are discussing is health education. So, health education will be discussed under following headings: introduction to the definition of health education, the objectives of health education, the approaches and the principles of health education. Okay, coming to introduction. So, health education, what is it all about? It is about giving information about health to the people. That is as straightforward definition which you can imagine. So, you give information about health to the people, but it is not just transfer of information. The person who is given the information, who you call as a recipient, he should use that information towards protecting his own health. Now, it is not just his own health, his family's and his community's health also he is his responsibility to protect. So for all this, he should be motivated to use the information which you are giving him. So all these activities will constitute a health education. Now, it is not a passive process where you give the information to a passive receiver. The receiver needs to be active, so he needs to be actively participating in the health education activities. Then only it will bring a change in his attitude and behavior. So, any health practices, for example, walking or maybe exercise, any other form of exercise or diet. So, any changes when individual needs to change, he has to actively involve himself. Then only the health education is going to be successful. Now, coming to a standard definition, it's the Alma Ata Declaration 1978, so which defines health education as a process aimed at encouraging people to want to be healthy, to know how to stay healthy, to do what they can individually and collectively to maintain health and to seek help when needed. So what you see in this definition is there are three strong important key points in the definition. First and foremost, the recipient, whoever is receiving the health education, he should have the desire to be healthy. Okay, that is covers the motivation part. So you encourage people to be healthy by themselves. So they should be motivated to stay healthy. So that is the motivation part which is covered in the first part of the definition. Once they are motivated, just motivation is not enough. They should know how they can keep themselves healthy. So that is the knowledge part, the health education knowledge, the uh, knowledge about the diseases which you are going to give to them. That is to they should know how to stay healthy. Okay, once they know that, they have to act on it both individually and collectively to maintain their own health. And only when they don't know what to do, they can seek help. So that is why the last part has to seek help when needed. So when you are writing your definition, so please keep in mind you can write it in your own words. So what it should cover is the first part is want to be healthy, how to stay healthy, and to maintain health both individually and collectively. So all these should come in your definition. So it's a very simple definition. Okay, coming to the objectives of health education. So, what are the objectives? The first and foremost objective is, again, you can come derive the objectives from the definition. So, first part was the motivation, right? So, you have to encourage people to adopt and sustain health promoting lifestyles and practices. Okay, so and the second objective is to promote the proper use of health services which is already available to them. Okay, and third objective is to provide new knowledge. So they if some knowledge of health which is not required, maybe knowledge about some disease, you have to give them the required knowledge which will help in turn to change attitude and in making rational decision to solve their own problems. Now the second part of this objective, that is rational decisions to solve their own problems. So in health education you leave it to the individuals to act upon their knowledge to make their own decisions based on their knowledge. So you can just tell them that having good exercise daily is going to help them stay healthy. It is going to reduce their obesity. Now acting on it is left to the individuals. Now how motivated they are will decide whether they will act on the knowledge which you have provided. Coming to the fourth objective, it is about self-reliance. That is, you cannot maintain health without the self-reliance of the community. So the individual and the community should participate to achieve their own health. Okay, so there should be community and individual involvement, and every step which they have with regard to their own health, so they should come up with the needs which they have. They should identify their own problems and try to solve them. Now, whenever they need health, the healthcare professionals should be able to provide them with the required help. So these are the objectives of health education. Coming to approaches to achieve health, that is approaches to health education. So you have legal or regulatory health approach. So here you make use of the laws. For example, there may be some epidemic disease act, so acts against tobacco consumption, pollution act. All these are regulatory approaches, road traffic accident acts. So you make laws and regulations which force people to act in a particular way. So this is a legal or regulatory. Coming to yeah, what is the problem? Uh, Administrative or service approach. So this approach, in administrative approach, you provide the health facilities to the people and hope that they will use it. So if the services are not used by people, then it will be a failure. When the services will not be used, when the when you give the people some facility which they don't feel they need. For example, you have set up a contraceptive clinic or you have provided contraceptives. If people don't want to use it, your service will become a failure. So this is an administrative or service approach. So it fails if the felt needs, that is the needs which are felt by the people, is not the needs which you think they have. Okay, so for this approach to be successful, you should first create the need in the people. How can you create the need? You can create the need by creating awareness regarding the service which you are providing, so that they feel that this, yeah, yes, we need this particular service. Coming to educational approach, so this is the most effective means of bringing change in the health practices. So what it involves? It involves motivation, communication and decision making. So you motivate the people and give them the information through effective communication and let them decide on themselves. The main disadvantage here is the approach is slow in bringing changes because it acts at a behavioral level and attitude change in the attitude of the people, but the effect is permanent and enduring. So something will you achieve with the educational approach is long lasting, unlike like the regulatory approach. You make laws, as soon as you remove the law, people may revert back to the old habits, but that this bringing change through educational approach is a most permanent and enduring one. So here sufficient time should be allowed for the individual to bring the desired changes in their. Lastly, and the not also very important approach is the primary healthcare approach which we are using. So it involves here participation by the recipient. Their active and full participation is required in all stages, planning the services as well as the delivery of the healthcare services. So this is based on principles of primary healthcare, which is dealt in a separate topic. So this can be achieved by providing the guidance to the people to identify their problems, and they may also be involved in finding solutions to problems. So those were the approaches to health. Now coming to principles of health education. So what are the principles which are there for health education? Principles means based on this the health education materials or the uh, methods are designed. So what all, how should be health education? So the based on what the health education methods and content should be. So it should be based on these principles, that is, number one is credibility, then you have interest, participation, motivation, comprehension, reinforcement, learning by doing, known to unknown, setting an example, good human relations, feedback. So what are these? And also community leaders, these and soil, seed and sower. These are the principles of health education. So we'll discuss this one. Coming to credibility. So credibility is to what extent the information you are giving is perceived as trustworthy by the receiver. So what determines credibility? It is determined by the person who is giving the health information. If the people who are receiving the information trust that person, so the information will have credibility. So how does this work? The receiver, when he receives an information, he will decide whether the information is false or truth. Okay. Now, how he will decide? Based on his trust on the person who is giving the information. Suppose, let us say, same information given by a doctor will be received in a different manner than given by a political leader on health. Okay, it is on when the topic is on health, the credibility is decided by the professional field. Now, doctor is a qualified person to give health information, so the people will go ahead and give credibility. Now, is about credibility of the information. Now, credibility also involves not just that; it also involves what knowledge is been given. It is if the knowledge coincides with the belief of the person who is receiving, then he will accept the knowledge as truth. But if it strictly goes against his belief, he will not give much credibility to the information. Coming to interest, now health education will only work when the receiver is having interest in the subject under discussion. For example, let us say there is a outbreak of COVID right now going on, right? Now, if you are giving information on COVID, now the people are very receptive, so they want to know more about COVID, so they are ready to listen to you. Now, if you give, let us say, information on some disease which is not present in their community right now, for example, you want to give them information about Nipah virus or let us say Ebola. Now, the interest of the people will be different. They are interested in only things which they need, which is required by them, right? So, your interest of the receiver will determine how effective your health. Coming to participation, now how much the receiver is ready to participate in your discussion will determine the effect of your health education. So if people are given chance and they accept your program and they participate fully in the program, your health education will be more successful rather than just a one way transfer of. Coming to motivation, so the fundamental desire for learning in individual, that is what motivation is. So if a person is motivated, he is willing to go to any extent to get the information. Even if it is not available, he will search someone who knows the information and get it from you. For example, a teenager who is having a problem with the teeth, let us say, he is very much motivated because of his physical appearance to get a restorative surgery at any expense so he can get into his facial features. But if it is let us say an elderly person, he is more concerned about his ability to chew or how good he is going to maintain his health because of his oral hygiene. Now this depends on motivation of the people. What motivates them to get whatever they want? So you need to be motivated based on the individual person. So something might be which is motivating for one person may not be motivating for the other. Okay, so that is motivation. Comprehension. Now, let us say you start a health education program in a village, and you start telling about lab tests, complex symptoms, science, methodology, treatment, and all. So you will start, if you start using medical jargons, the people will not understand what you are telling. And for example, you go to a rural village and start speaking in English, they will not understand what you are telling. You in between you are putting some words in English which they don't understand. So that's why comprehension is plays a very important role. So you should drop down to the level of their understanding. So for example, a health education on malaria, let us say, if a health education on malaria is being taken in a primary school, the words used and the understanding, from where you start your presentation is totally different than doing it in a let us say college or high school. Now, the based on the knowledge of the individual, you should make your health education material. So that is what very important in comprehension. Okay, here is an example. You can see eat food items that are cariogenic. Now, this is comprehensive to people who know what is cariogenic, who are in a medical field, but it may not be perceived in the same way by a lay person who doesn't know what is a cariogenic, and he doesn't know what are the food items which are cariogenic. So now a better way of explaining it to a lay person will be avoid foodstuffs which are sweet, which stick to your teeth, like toffees and pastries. Now if somebody knows that these are the carcinogenic food, then you can use that prime first primary statement. But if that person doesn't know, you need to explain what are these food items, and you need to explain what is carcinogenic. So that's why it need to be put in a detail. So like that, comprehension depends on the receiver. Reinforcement. Now reinforcement means to repeat the same thing again and again. So once you give a health information, the people will remember it that time, but slowly gradually they will start forgetting. So it is a need to repeat the same thing again and again. So on regular intervals you need to push the ideas and let them know about it again. So this is called as reinforcement. So it can be considered like a booster dose, how you give booster dose in vaccine. Coming to learning by doing. So if learning is a process, doing it will help people remember it better. Okay, for example, here the younger daughter is teaching how to brush to the small little girl. She is also doing it and showing it, and she is also making the little girl brush. So this is what you call as doing by learning by doing. So if any skill is there, for example, use of some instruments which need to be trained, so the trainer will do and show it to the person who has come to the gym, and he will also make him do. So that is what it means by learning by doing. So if I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. If I do, I know. That's what is this quote about learning by known to unknown. So you, before you start any health education program, you try to understand how much the receiver already know about that particular health education topic. So when you start, you generate interest of the receiver who is knowing already something about your topic. So when you ask something and he knows that, and he comes up with the answer, he becomes more interested in what you are going to say further. So you already understand how much knowledge the receiver already has, and from there you build up on it. So this is called as from known to unknown. So to it builds confidence in the receiver that yeah, he knows something about it, and also it helps in creating interest in the receiver. Coming to setting an example. For example, you see here your father is telling the son to not smoke while he himself is smoking. Now this is a setting, this is not going to set up a good example for the son. So whenever you are giving any health education practice, let us say you are asking to do a lifestyle changes, you are asking person to walk daily or quit smoking. If you yourself are smoking or you yourself are not walking, the person will not receive it in a better way. So that is about setting an example. So you should have to put good positive health practices yourself as a health educator. Then only the people will take the message. For example, if you are having 5 6 children and you are going on about health education and family planning, the people will not receive it because they will see yourself as an example and think that you are only telling it for the sake of telling, and they will not ignore it. So that is about setting up an example. Coming to good human relations. Okay, so if a health educator, if he wants to be successful, he needs to have a good rapport with the person who is receiving the health education. In this regard, there are celebrities, community leaders. That's why you use Amitabh Bachchan or other celebrities for campaign against polio, let us say. Okay, दो बूंद जिंदगी की. Why we use celebrities? Because they have good impact on the people. Even in local leaders, when they give the message, it is better received than just any other healthcare worker. In some situations where the person has good relationship with the people, people already believe that whatever this person is will do, he will do it only for good of the benefit of the people. So they already trust him in that regard because of his good relationship with him, and this will result in a better health education than someone who is giving the education without good human relationship. Coming to feedback, now any program to be successful need to collect feedback. This is also true for health education. So when you are imparting health education, so you should collect feedback regarding your health education from the people, whether your comprehension, they had proper comprehension, whether the words you were using was understood by them, whether you were able to drop to their level to make them understand. So this will you will understand only when you take the feedback. Okay, coming to community leaders. So community leaders have a vast influence in successfully imparting health education because people are ready to follow them because of their good rapport with the people. So when you use community leaders to send guidelines through mass media or any other local channels, it will be more effective in health education. Coming to the last concept, that is soil, seed and sower. Now this concept assumes soil as a community where the information is the seed. So you put the information in the community and you give time so that the information becomes the plant, that is the change, ultimate change in the behavior which are expecting from the person. So you will be the sower, who is the person who is giving the information. Okay, that will be all for health education principles. One more topic is there, that is health education methods. We will cover it in the later class. Thank you.